The longer I'm living my life, the more I realize, as you probably realize, that I am responsible for my life. I am responsible. But let's be fair. We are totally bombarded with wave upon wave upon wave of negativity, pain, suffering, and it just goes on. So, who do we attribute this to? Who do we blame? Well, I think ultimately we must blame Pandora, because what did she do? Well, in Greek mythology, she was the first woman in the world, supposedly. And she was deeply curious. And she was put in charge of a box of emotions and various other things. And she was told, don't open the box. And she looked at the box and she thought, gosh, I wonder if I just could peek inside the box. Just have a look. No, Pandora, don't do it. Don't do it. But you know how things go when you're deeply curious. You look around, and just when no one is looking, you open the box. And out of the box jumped every imaginable pain and frustration and loss and anxiety, etc., that exist and have existed on earth since this time. But she was very shocked, of course, but she was very quick. And she closed the box. And of course, as we all know, what remained inside the box was hope. So we deserve to be hopeful people, because without hope, we no longer exist as beings. So when we're subjected to the news, for instance, and we see all the suffering in the world, we still hope that things would get better. And I think about my life, the frustrations that have been in my life, as have been in everyone's life. What has kept me going is the belief that eventually, fueled by hope, that things will get better. And they do, of course. They do. They always get better. And then, of course, they fall down again. And yes, I use my superpower, my belief in hope, and once again, things begin to improve. Now, as I said before, if you lose this hope, you are lost. And there are numerous studies that have shown that people who have given up hope lose everything. And as I have mentioned before, in 1944, in December, the prisoners in Auschwitz, in the death camp in Poland, at the time part of Nazi Germany, part of the administratively for tax purposes, part of the German Reich, with all its various businesses, etc., people could hear the Russian guns in December. And a rumor began that we are going to be freed on New Year's Day. The 1st of January, 1945, we are going to be freed. And everyone was excited, and the anticipation built and built and built. And then New Year's Day came, and the Russians didn't come. And between that time and some 3 weeks later, tens of thousands of people died. Why? Well, you know the answer. Because they had lost hope. And in the end, they were wrong, because the Russians did come. So, what is hope? Well, hope for sure is the belief in the possibility of better things to come. Hope is the optimistic anticipation of positive outcomes. Hope is the belief in the true goodness of humanity despite the challenges. It's the unwavering belief in the potential for change, for something better. And I think one more, it's the assurance that tomorrow holds a promise, even when today appears to be horrible and bleak. I must never lose hope. But how do I garnish this? How do I nurture this? Well, one way for sure is to write in your notebook, because you are a smart person. You know you are. You know who you are. Write in your notebook. Talk to yourself. Who's my teacher? Of course, myself. I can tell myself that things will get better. And for sure we have these three questions. Why am I here? What is my mission? And ultimately, what happens when I leave here? Now, I profoundly believe that we need a religion. We need a belief in God. But only I can find my own path. I can listen to other people. I can follow various religions. But I must find my own, truly. But it exists. If I really want to be at peace, I need this pin, for sure, to go forward without any question at all. Because, ultimately, when it comes to the people who have lost hope, you try to convince them that they have value in this world, and they're bleak. They just can't believe that things can ultimately get better. They can't see it somehow. And then we end up, of course, with the homeless, the people who live on the streets, at the train stations, in various other dark and dank places. If you talk to them, they give you a story of hopelessness. Truly, as the word means, they don't believe things will ever get better. And many of them are drunk and stoned, of course, because why would you occupy a real reality, so to speak, if things are actually hopeless? So, never lose hope. And from Oscar Wilde and picked up by John Lennon, things will be fine in the end. In other words, there is always hope, no matter what happens, until the very end. And if you've lost hope, or things are still bad, it's obviously not the very end. And you can put a religious spin on that if you wish. And you know what they say. You know what they say. Critical thinking is necessary, because you are never, ever, ever going to lose hope, and critical thinking is truly great. Be hopeful always. You take care. God bless. Bye-bye.